Like, I feel like I have stage fright right now. What the fuck is going on? Hello. Hi. Here we are. 2025. Who knew we'd make it? I certainly didn't. I know it's been a while. Should I address the elephant? The big old fat gray elephant. Yeah, it's been about 11 months or so since I posted on here. I can't think of a more better time than now to start posting again, like a person who wants to post on YouTube but doesn't freaking remember how to. 2025, new year, new me, new you, new everybody. That's how it goes, right? Like, as soon as the ball drops, everybody knows you're a changed human being, or at least your brain tricks you into thinking you are. At least that's happened for me. That might just show my stupidity. I might have just exposed myself there. Okay, what are we doing here today? I thought it would be fun to do my ins and outs of 2025. Shut up. I know it's late. It is literally January 5th as I'm recording this. Lord knows how long it's gonna take me to edit it and then actually post it. Hopefully I do that all like at least like it takes like a day and a half and then it's up like tomorrow. That's the dream. That's the ambition. But knowing me, see, the reason I haven't posted in 11 months isn't because I don't want to. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it here in the ins and outs. But if you're wondering, all 300 of you, if you're wondering where I've been, what I've been doing, I'll probably promote this on my Instagram. And if you're on my Instagram, you're like, this bitch ain't posted. The fuck is wrong with her? I know nobody gives a fuck. I know nobody gives a fuck. But if you're like a mutual of mine, a friend of mine, here I am. Sorry I ghosted you. It's been a long year, okay? And I bet everybody can relate to that. This might get depressing. Wait, I just realized that. This might get depressing because I'm depressing. Not depressed. No, I'm not depressing. I'm depressed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that either. It's just more like I don't feel real. And I'm trying to get back to feeling real. And that's what this is all about. Ladies and gents, that's what this is all about. This isn't a therapy session. I promise you, I'm not going to burden you with all my troubling convictions. I'm just being honest, and if you can't take it, I'm sorry, I'm being so weird. Okay. Here we are today to talk about the ins and outs of 2025. I still have a video that I want to do about all the books I read in 2024, and I know I'm a little late on that. Do I look like I give a fuck? Look me in the eye. Do I? I don't care. At least it gets done, right? As long as it gets done, I don't really care. Lots of things happen in 2024. One of those things is realizing I have PDA, which is pathological demand avoidance. It's like as we know it, a subtype of like autism, and it explains my entire fucking life, and it explains why I haven't posted in forever. It's not because I haven't wanted to. Trust me. I have draft upon draft upon draft of videos that I did over the span of 2024. I deleted most of like the clips and stuff, so it's like I don't have like they're not ever going to see the light of day. I'm just trying, and that's all we can do, right? Ins and outs. let's talk about them. It's been like 8 minutes and I haven't even started what I'm actually here for. Like, I feel like I need to explain myself so much and I'm still doing it, so let's shut the fuck up and get to the content. In DNFing. So I have this embarrassing tendency to try and finish every single thing that I have started. Not when it comes to like actual important things, but books specifically. I think that what happens is that I'm like, I've spent all this time, whether it be 10% of the way in, 30% of the way in, 50%, you know, I've spent this much time trying to be here with this book. It would be such a waste of time if I just stopped being here with this book. In my opinion, I think my brain is like, no, you gotta finish it now because you worked up the courage, you worked up the stamina to start this book, which can be hard sometimes, right? And now you just gotta finish it. But I think I would be better off just DNFing some things. In my video that I plan to make about all the books that I read in 2024, I feel like it will be evident that I have problems. It's like, you obviously didn't like the book. Why did you finish it? You were bored to tears, or you were annoyed and you didn't think you were gonna like the ending. Like, you just had to be there. I do have a problem, I will say, where I'm like, well, now I have to see what happens. I have to see where it goes. Maybe it gets better. Maybe there's a line that I would be a different person if I never read. You know what I mean? Like, things like that I always like think about. Am I about to convince myself to never DNF ever again, ever? This is literally the problem I have. I'm like, what about all the things that I will miss? DNFing. I do think it's healthy to DNF. It's healthy to be like, hey, I'm not vibing with this, and if I keep on going, it's going to put me in a slump. It's going to make me feel awful. I mean, the amount of books that I read last year where I was like, I really don't want to continue on with that book, but it's the only book I'm reading right now, so I guess I'm going to continue on with it. Like, the amount of times that's happened, it's honestly, it's not fair to my own self. So that's why DNFing is in. And I encourage you, if you feel like a completionist or whatever, like you need to finish the book at hand, even if you're not enjoying it, let us DNF together. I think that another thing that influenced me too is this Bookstagrammer. They're my favorite Bookstagrammer. Don't tell anyone, that feels embarrassing. Just kidding. Lost Cup of Stars. Love them because they like make such amazing content. I think they DNF'd like 163 books or something like that last year, and that really like solidified like I need to start DNFing more, because how are you going to get to the things that you absolutely eat up and devour if you're not DNFing? You know what I mean? Like, I spent a lot of time last year, I think, reading books that I ended up more or less like really despising, and despising myself too for wasting my time in trying to like something that I just didn't like. Like, let's not do that anymore. So that is in. It's into DNF. We love DNFing. DNF Central. Oh, DNF Central. I think too there's like a little bit of guilt. It's like, sorry author, but you should have been better. Just kidding. That was a joke. Let's talk about an out. Okay, we're gonna get a little bit deep here, I guess. Comparing self to others. One of the many reasons that I think that I didn't post a lot last year is because, I mean, there's so many reasons, but one of them is just like, I'm not them, nor them, nor them, nor them, nor them. Like, all these people that I kind of like look up to, or just like I'm appreciative of, and I always am like I don't have a good camera. I don't even have a tripod, you know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is it's just so easy to get lost in the rat race of it all, whether it be Instagram or BookTube or whatever. And it's less like comparing myself to others maybe, but I even kind of compare myself to myself, and I was like, I'm not where I want to be. I don't really post. I think I talked about this literally last year, doing the same thing where I did like all my 2024 goals, BookTube and book reading wise, but I was talking about how like I'm not where I want to be either, where the content that I post is not the content of my dreams. And unfortunately, it takes kind of a lot of work to do what I've been dreaming of doing, why I started BookTube. It takes like a lot of work, and it's hard for me to do a lot of work a lot of the time. I know that makes it sound like I'm a lazy little fuck who doesn't do anything in their life, but I think I mentioned earlier, like, I just recently got told that I have pathological demand avoidance, and it explains so much of my life. It's kind of crazy, and so therefore, like, it made me cry when I realized in all these symptoms that I thought were just quirky personality traits. Trust me, oh my god, like, I was like, that's just who I am as a person. I'm just so silly, quirky, fun, and I don't really care about. It can sound like irresponsibility. It can sound like laziness. It can sound like a lot of things, but I know what it feels like inside, and it's more like, it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. If you post it on YouTube, you know what I mean. It is so much work to post on YouTube, and when you have a brain like mine, unfortunately, everything is like a big thing. Shooting this right now is honestly like the biggest accomplishment that I could even like ask for myself. And I've had quite a good day. I finished Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I took a shower, and now I'm recording this. That's a lot to do in one day, okay? And, and I got really, really far in Oyster Meat Poon Poon 3, and, like, all that, like, those are tasks that are weighing on me like this. Pathological demand avoidance basically is what it sounds like, okay? And it's like, if it's perceived as a demand, I'm like, no, none of that. And so I just avoid it. But anyway, all that to say, knowing all of that about me now, and knowing, I mean, I've always known about it, but like having a word for it and having a bigger understanding, like I'm not crazy and there is a community out there, people who also experience these exact things, makes me feel so much better. And so I have patience with myself. All that to say, comparing myself to others, when I wrote that down, I really meant comparing myself to myself and having patience with myself. Patience with myself is in, comparing myself to others, and my past self is out. Oh my god, this is actually so therapeutic right now. Who needs to pay $300 for therapy when you have a camera? Don't take that advice. That's disgusting and weird. Don't act like your camera's your fucking therapist. I'm editing so much out, you don't even know. You don't even know, okay? I'm so annoying. What the fuck? I'm not always this annoying. Please don't unsubscribe, or please don't think I'm annoying. I'm rusty, okay? Please bear with me. Did I say anything of sense there? Basically, we are all on our own track, and I need to remember that daily, and I'm here to remember that. 2025 is a year where I'm trying to take my mental health and my own selfness seriously, because I haven't been taking it seriously, and that's just another example of me trying to take it more seriously, and I'll be better for it. So that was like a content goal, kind of. And I love talking about books. Don't we all? Like, that's what we're here for. And I just want to do that again and more. Last year I dropped off, and I regret the fact that I dropped off, so no more of that. And I guess that goes right into another that I have, is posting bookish content. I basically just said it all, but I just want to post bookish content again. I want to buddy read with like people that I love. I want to, share my reviews, share my thoughts. Like, that is why we're all here. You read and read and read, and then it's like, who do you have to tell all of the things about what you're reading about? Like, when people watch shows and movies, like, I feel like, oh, like, look at this humongous community, but reading is a little bit smaller, especially when you think about like the very specific books that each individual will decide to read. We need each other. Like, we need each other, and I need you. I need an outlet, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, to just commune and talk about the beautiful, beautiful literature, or the trashy literature even, that we all know and love. Trashy in a good way, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Just like, that was so stupid. It was my favorite thing in the world. Thank you for that. And more people who also get it. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I'm so annoyed. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm rusty. I promise my next video, I probably won't be like this, okay? I'm rusty. I can tell. I can feel it in my veins, and this is gonna be a pain in the ass to edit, I just realized. I'm gonna do it though, because I believe in myself and I'm patient with myself. You should be too. And then this is another thing too, I just said this, 2024, I cannot lie. I tried many times to post YouTube videos. I did a lot of vlogs for some reason, even though they're like the most hard thing I would say to do on BookTube or YouTube in general, even maybe, because it was so hard for me to keep up with a vlog, like a reading vlog, you know what I mean? Like, having to update every time I finished a book or in the middle of a book or whatever, and it's like, I would always just forget, or I'm like, yeah, I gotta talk about it, but I don't feel like it right now. But I probably started like at least 9 different vlogs, okay? Just know that about me. So it's obvious that it's not that I've lost a passion to make content about books, my one true love, books. Here's something, this is very real. I just started feeling like I don't deserve that space and in time. Like, I don't deserve that space. I don't know, I just started like hiding myself out a little bit, all by accident. Didn't mean to do that, but it's just how I felt most of the year. Like I'm a loser, which is kind of true. I don't care if I'm a loser. That's not really what matters. But it's more like it's not that deep. Like I can post my bookish content too. My thoughts matter too. Barely, but see, that's the beauty of the world. Like it's like they do, but they don't. They do to the people that they matter to if it must happen, but they don't really matter at all, and you can do whatever you want. Out. That's out. Out. That should be the symbol for out. Out. Fuck. Doom scrolling. Doom scrolling. That's all the way out. That can't be my life anymore. So as you know, that our phones are really addicting, and I hate it, and I want that to change. I don't believe in it. And so I'm going to try to make more of a conscious effort to not be on my phone, even though, I mean, as everybody knows, again, you can just be sitting there and you don't know how to be okay with your boredom. You don't know how to be okay with yourself, and you just... That's me pressing Instagram. The amount of times I've like been like, I hate like going through reels and I'm like, I hate Instagram so much, exit, and I'm like, Instagram, that's creepy. I hate that is our reality, and I'm done with it. I'm tired of it, and also reels don't hit anymore. So that's also an easy motivation for why I do not want to doom scroll, and instead replace doom scrolling with reading, of course. And I actually have been doing a pretty good job at that this year so far. I mean, it's only the 5th day in, but like I'm like, oh, fuck Instagram, and then I'll just start reading. I think last year I got really into my phone for some reason. Everything got more addicting, and it was easier to escape. It was a good use of escapism, but it was very counterproductive with the fact that it gets really real on reels, if you know what I mean. Reels, more like real, too real. And it gets depressing really fucking fast. And it's ironic to escape on those things because it's not really escaping. It's like the exact opposite of that. And maybe that's what I like the feeling of, just like plunging myself deep into it all. The horrors. The fucking horrors. And I do like plunging myself into the horrors, but that's also the exact feeling that got me into reading and loving to read. So I need to do it in that way. So another in is stepping out of my comfort zone. I want to start stepping out of my comfort zone more ways than one. Obviously, like with the book content type ways, of course, there's that. But I was specifically thinking about like genres. I think I have a very narrow reading preference, and I want to at least say that I have taken a step into other directions, such as fantasy, maybe a little bit more sci-fi, because what I read a lot is like literary fiction. I read a lot of like woman going through shit literary fiction specifically, and although that's all well and good and very relatable, I think that I need to also explore other things. Otherwise I can't live with myself. Like basically it goes down to that. Like I need to do that for my own sanity, because like I've been reading, and books that probably would have caught my eye and I would have devoured 3 years ago, I'm not feeling the same about anymore. It's really sad and kind of frightening. Like I realize like my reading taste is changing basically. At one point I was a 20-year-old going about this life, and now I'm a 25-year-old and everything is different. I feel that difference kind of, and I think that my reading taste is going along with that. And so there's that. And I know that sounds like it's not attached to what I just said with like the reading new things such as fantasy or sci-fi, but I just think that I need to dabble in it all so that I really know what I adore. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, I think that's another thing too about last year, like when I only read 50 books, which don't get me wrong, I'm not like I only read 50, but the year before that I read 120, and the year before that I read 150, and the year before that I read 160, you know what I mean? Or something like that. And it's not about the numbers at all, obviously. It's about how much I was like my bio on YouTube has said I can't stop reading for the last 4 years or whatever, and that's because that's how I truly feel. I at one point in time I couldn't stop. Like even if I wanted to, I felt like I couldn't. I didn't want to stop. I just want to get back to that type of passion, and I think that I've been stalling myself and stunting myself because I kind of pigeonholed myself into a certain genre, or like this is what I like. And it's like, well, have you tried something else? So that's what that's all about. I want to try all of it. Nonfiction, I could use a bit more nonfiction in my life. Like I'm a fiction fiend, like especially a literary fiction fiend. Like I can't get enough of that shit, and I never will. I already have accepted that about myself. I could use some genre fiction in my life. I could use even more manga. Like I've been reading Orsimi Pum, so good. So good. It's a lot. I had to stop. I thought I was gonna be able to binge the third one today, like finish it all off, because I had like 200 pages left of it or something. I can't. I don't think I can. It's a lot. I just need to discover more. And there's so many things out there. I think that's what this started as. There's so many things to consume out there. I don't even know where to start, but I'm starting somewhere and soon and fast, and I need to. Like other people have their movies, people have their TV shows. I have my books, and now I'm going to have my books, okay? You know what I mean? I'm gonna read the world, basically, is what I'm saying, okay? And so prepare for that. That's more of a warning to myself. Last one, and this is an out, obviously, if you see the pattern that I've been doing. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. This is kind of a joke, but an out is audiobooks. Lols. Okay, I'm so sorry for that. That was a joke too, in case you were wondering. I don't actually act like that. This isn't getting posted. What the fuck? I'm rusty. Come back again for something more concise. See, this is also another thing too. This is just a little fucking glimpse into my dark mind. See, oh my god, if you don't stop that shit, I swear to god. Okay, sorry, pep talk to myself. A little insight though is that's another thing too. That's why it has embarrassingly taken me like a little bit longer to post certain things. I'm making like more work for myself, but at the same time, like I'm making better videos for myself. So it's a conundrum, okay? I feel the need to script a lot of my stuff. Not like strictly script, but just like little bullet points so I can stay on topic, something crazy like that, you know? So my next video, hopefully, will be the 50 books I read this year and talking a little bit about every single one of them. But I will have my bullet points out there so that it's more concise and a lot better than this. And so that also, you know, tends to take a person a little bit longer, and especially when you have 3, 8. Okay, I don't want to say that fucking phrase one more time. Basically, just think about it like I'm a lazy little fuck, and it's hard for me to do things. That's how the average person can probably see it. So, and that's how I feel. That's how I fucking feel most of the time anyway. So, anyway, out audiobooks. And that's only because, so I have a issue. I have a tendency to I really have to piss, to sometimes I'll avoid a book just because it doesn't have an audiobook. And by sometimes, I mean like all the time. Especially like this past year, all the time. This isn't a fucking anti-audiobooks segment. I can promise you that. Audiobooks are the fucking love of my life. You see, this wedding ring doesn't mean shit. Wait, oh, I can't put my ring. It doesn't mean shit. You know who the real love of my life is? Audio fucking books. Okay, I love audiobooks. And I support them. I encourage you, if you do not read fucking audiobooks, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you. And my favorite way to consume, and I feel like I've said this so many times, is audiobook with the book in front of me. It helps me a lot, like with my distracted ass mind, like my boing 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 ass mind. to just hone in and pay attention and not get too distracted and stuff. And like, if I do get too distracted, just a little rewind is all I need, you know what I mean? And there's just something about it that just helps me out so freaking much. But I do want to, this kind of goes with like the doom scrolling thing in my phone. Like, I want to work my brain muscle out a bit better. And like the year before, like 2023, trust me, there were things that I was physically reading and everything. But like 2024, I don't think there was a single thing I did not use an audiobook with. Like, that means I haven't read things simply because I couldn't find an audiobook for them. I don't want that to be my life. That's just sad. That limits you so much. And so, therefore, that's why audiobooks are out. Of course, I'm going to still be using them just as much as I always have. But I want to be able to physically read. And if it takes me a few days longer, so be it. God fucking forbid. That's life. That's okay. And so, yeah, I want to do more of that. That would be nice. Less audiobooks for me personally. More audiobooks for all of you. I get so shook at the fact that, like, people don't use audiobooks all the time. Like, they're like, I just discovered audiobooks. I'm like, that used to be the only way I was able to read. Lucky yous. No, there's beauty in both mediums, of course. So yeah, actually, I don't listen to audiobooks just by themselves either. Like, I have to have the audiobook and the book both, and that's how I read. That's literally how I read everything I ever read, just about. For example, I had Greta, I think it's called Greta and Valden or something like that, and I really want to read it, but I couldn't because no apps that I had an audiobook for it, except for Libby, but I had to hold it for like weeks, and so I just never read it. I'm limiting myself just because I don't have an audiobook for it. Like, I have to be more mindful. Like that's what happens. Basically, I'll be reading words and I'm like, words. Am I hungry or do I just have to shit? Words. Remember that one time in 7th grade when my phone doesn't help with that kind of distraction? I mean, I inevitably am going to get distracted with my, don't ask. I'm just trying to get better at using my brain these days. I've been very bad at using my brain for the last like 25 years. Okay, Jesus Christ, 45 minutes? Really? Is that what we have going for us now? It's gonna be edited down to like 15 because there's only like 15 minutes that actually make sense and need to be said. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good New Year's. Life is amazing. Life is what you make it. Never forget. I'll see you around. Trust me, I will.